All right, time for our power hour stream here. So we'll look for some flow to come in. It's been a little quiet this afternoon, but if you got any flow or questions, just drop them in the chat and can look over it. But for now, I'm just gonna kind of pop around the flow and just kind of take a peek at what is coming in currently and what came in a little bit ago, and just kind of why I'm passing over some stuff right now too. But take a peek here. Like these right away, a little longer term, not a big fan of that fill, but if we take a peek at it, I mean, you're up almost 4% on the day. Just kind of want to take a peek. So, I mean, like this is something I probably would post though. I mean, your IV's going up. You're just not coming in right at the ask here. Would lean buys on these still though, with them coming in closer to the ask there, but probably something I wouldn't pass on, or kind of tough here. Now I'm looking here a little bit at the top. Usually I'm looking at the timing here as well, but this timing about a minute or so after. Do have some size and premium there with an IV drop. Now that I'm thinking about it, probably something I would pass on, but it looks good until you get that drop there. Oh, it just thundered here. Interesting. Didn't know it was supposed to rain. Okay. Anyways, sorry about that. But let's kind of come back here and then just kind of looking at the net premiums too. Big spike in the net call premium. Obviously, your put premium's still up. Kind of want to see how much of this is that trade. So 26% of that. This is the percent of the total volume on the day. Then you look at something like this, out of the money, 285%. Probably something you'd want to pass on. And I mean, it's a slower mover here too. Let's take a peek what else we got here. I would just want to throw an invite in the main chat here quick too. So 1 second. Alright, let's pop back up here. The core weaves, I know I posted some longer term ones a little earlier in the day. I think that I want to see which ones I posted a little bit earlier. Let's take a peek. Okay, so it was the 130s, so the 2585 would have been the ones that we posted. So about here, so yeah, those are already making a pretty big move up today. And 300 days out, 17% out of the money. Not too far out of the money. That concerns me. It's a reasonable move in, I mean, almost a year there. So that's something I'm looking at too, is obviously that out of the money percent too. And again, just kind of looking at that raw flow too. I mean, always paying attention to that raw flow. Your IV's up here a little bit, drops, but then you have that spike here towards the end, then kind of another drop. So little tougher here. And IV obviously was going to be skewed towards the downside with us kind of dropping here throughout the day. So that's just kind of, and longer term here, that's something that would look good there to me, and obviously making a move up there. And let me pop this back out to the main feed. Yeah, actually I want to take a couple looks at the flow that we saw today. I mean, that Hertz flow from today, making a really good move. I mean, another good example here of how I always tell people to adjust up stops. Even though these are 70 days out, 61 was the fill, 61, 62-ish. I think at 62 posted in the Discord, but 62. These are trading up here 85. You're at the high of the day. You're up 30% on these. I have a stop on. And you don't always just follow the whales to the end of the trade till they close. I think there's a couple examples that'll be in the flow recap where whale was up again 100% and then they're red on the day. So that's kind of why I'm always just telling people adjust up stops. Like you're up 30% right now. I'd probably have a stop on at 20%, 22%, give or take. And you can always just scale out slowly as well too. But like this one, if this drops on Monday back down to 60 or so, then you could always look for a discounted entry. But thankfully, you have profits that you secured, and you can recycle that. That is one big thing I'm always hitting on, is the recycling of your profits. Take a 30% gain. I mean, and 10-15% is still a solid gain. If you're continuously hitting on those 10-15%, you're going to see your portfolio increase quickly. Because, I mean, you see a lot of people posting 300-400% gainers, and those are great. We have them in here, obviously, as well. But the realistic view is going to be, 10, 20, 30% gainers, which are very solid gainers and more realistic, because you're not going to always exit at the top. And that's kind of why I always say it in the flow recaps. I'm doing the full range of the trade just to kind of help see where people can start adjusting up your stops and kind of learning that way. But like these Hertz today, again, great move so far. And just looking at that flow feed, you just see, let me pop the results out. I always forget to pop them out in the video, but you just see that IV, kind of drop there, but these small ones, not a big factor in the trade there. But this is when your flow starts to come in. You just kind of see that coming in here, coming at the ask. Obviously, wider bid-ask spread here, so good sign. Then you see that repeated hits here again. IV spikes, spot price increases, sign of a buy there, and where you're making a good move up today. I want to see what just hit the tape here, so 1 second. So right away, I'm going to tell you, probably not going to look at these two. You have the CBOEs. These are multi-leg. I avoid multi-leg trades. Just with the multi-leg, there's just a lot that goes into them. Like if we take a peek, well, this one's not going to show up, but let's see. Like the Uber one here. And I'm not a spread trader. I know there's people that trade spreads. But like these, so like the Uber one here, obviously you got some ask side puts, bid side puts, and you just kind of come in here, and if you don't trade spreads and you do like multi-leg trades, what I always tell people, just pop it in the profit loss calculator down here. Just visualize it. Takes a second to kind of pop in here. Of course, it's going to be a little longer when I'm trying to show everybody. I'm going to pop that back out. It's starting to storm here, so I'm just hoping the internet wants to hold up. It's just being a little slow for me. Pop in that Jeopardy music here. I'm going to try a different multi-leg one. I don't know why I can't get this one to load. Okay, the U one here. So like this one's a interesting spread here. You got calls, puts, bid side, some expiring next week, some expiring today. So you want to take a peek at that. Just pop that in here. So now here's that table that I was trying to talk about. Kind of tells you the strategy, and obviously it's not going to be always 100% correct. It's just kind of going off the data that it's given. I just pop it to that table, and obviously you can see they're just kind of hoping Uber stays in this little zone-ish area here. But that's kind of why I avoid multi-leg trades. But people like them. Good way to collect premium if you're good with them. So let's see what else we had. So today, those meta calls, again, your entry here. Smaller premium here, but against that open interest. Looked good there. And obviously, just looking at that raw flow feed, you see how that IV spikes when it comes in. You're coming in at the ask here. Signs of a buy. And shorter term, I'm always looking at that days to expiration. The closer to the days, or the closer the date of the expiration, I view it as more aggressive. So it's not always true, because like the Hertz ones that we were looking at, come back here, you're 70 days out, they make a 30% intraday move. So I mean, it happens, but like the longer term stuff, I kind of like that scaling into them a little bit. If you really, really like that flow, you can grab a couple contracts now, and the averaging down part of things, I would I don't if you're going into a trade with an idea of averaging down, then it's fine. But if you're going in full size and then you start averaging down, that's when it can become a little more difficult. But those metas again today, 340, you get a little pullback here, and then you pop back up. I mean, you hit 440 on the day. Tesla's made a good move today. Your flow here, and Tesla was a pretty easy one. I want to pop back out here too, because actually we're gonna look at the flow feed, then look at that net premium. Let's come back down here. So like this one, again, you see that IV spike, you get a repeated hits ascending fill, and all that is telling you is that spot price is increasing as that flow is coming in. Just following this up, I mean, you see that IV staying up. Flow continues to come in at the ask. Now you have a small drop in that IV here. So I'm continuing to look at that flow. Now you pop back up to that 62 in here. That spot price increases a little bit again. IV drops a little bit here, and then you obviously pop again here. So typically now if this was the only Tesla call I had on the radar for the day, I'd probably not post that, but obviously at the time there's a lot of Tesla call volume coming in, so 9:15, 9:20 Central Time. So let's come back in here. I mean, at the time you just see a lot of call premium, call volume. That's kind of where I like to combine those multiple data points when I'm looking at that flow. And also, let me come back to the main flow feed here. The overall flow feed is just getting smacked with Tesla calls all day. So before the 9:15, because that was the 435, I knew you have a lot of hits on the 430 calls. There's a 5:15, and then here comes your 435. So I had all this other Tesla flow to reference before that trade that I posted came in. So that's just kind of that, and that's one big thing about looking at that full flow feed as well too. You just get to see that overall impact and kind of just what other flow is getting hit with that. But yeah, good move on those Teslas again. Let's take a peek. Okay, so like these RLs right here, multi-leg trade. So okay, getting rid of that bid side here. So if you don't know, don't just sit and look at them. So you're getting a short call ladder, and I always pop it to that table. So okay, you're seeing this is a bullish spread here, and it's really nice because you can just kind of see that stock makes a 10% gain. Obviously, it's probably not going to make an 11% gain today anymore. Well, knock on wood, because with my luck it would. But like over the next, let's just say, till the 28th, if you make an 11% gain, you're going to get 23% back on those contracts. So that's, again, one thing I like about the profit calculator, especially if you're not very strong with spreads. Again, not a spread trader here, so I definitely use this if I'm interested in a spread. But let's see what else we got. So the Hertz ones today, open. That thing's getting obliterated today. And this was kind of an odd one because you only about had half that volume carry over. Between these, your big whale probably stayed, and you just get a lot of volume on the day on something like that. But again, this is something with time in the market. We were up 70% yesterday, 65%. This flow's a month out. I mean, there's going to be a pullback, more than likely. Probably about a 90% chance you're going to see some profit taking and all that. And these did obviously have a wider spread at open, with the gap down here obviously getting pummeled today. But I mean, you're hitting 60 here on the day, and that's one thing too. Like, you're looking at this, okay, you fill these at 52, you're at 60, you're thinking, okay, that's only $8 I'm making per contract. But you're looking at it as in a percentage. Let me get a drink here quick. My throat's starting to die. So yeah, always look at percentage too, because you'll see a lot of people just posting money. It's all about that percent. That 52 up to that 60, I mean, you're 20%-ish or so, 18%. That's a good trade. Again, that is hitting your target between that minimum like 10-15%. Good trade. Can always throw a stop on and re-enter too. But yeah, like that, I mean, and that's one thing I don't like when people are posting, oh, I made $30,000 this month. Okay, well, are you trading on a $500,000 portfolio? Let's see the percentage that you made. It's always the percent that you should pay attention to. A lot of people use that money, that $30,000 or whatever they make in a month, to market that and make it look like, oh, hey, I'm going to make $30,000 this month too, just like this guy. Well, this person's risking or playing with a $500,000 portfolio. So keep that in mind too. It's always about the percent. And then the micro strategies from yesterday. Our entry back there, obviously big pop today. Hood puts, those should be up still. They were up a little bit earlier. A little bit ran that same day. So like, again, another kind of example here. A little tougher with them when they kind of run towards the end of the day, but 698, these run all the way up to 757 and then drop that next day. Like something like this. Okay, I know we're a little longer term. I'm up some profits on the day. Maybe I'm going to close out knowing that obviously CPI was yesterday when you know there's a big report. It's kind of when I'm a little more cautious as well too. But that drop here, now if you would have re-entered yesterday on some profits that you took here, you would have got a big move up today too for staying in them for the big long roller coaster. I'm trying to find the one that I want for that example. So, okay, it's not those. Maybe it is. Hold on. Nope, not those. AMD. Nope, not those either. SLCs. No, this will be an interesting one for that flow recap too. Because this one, this was a floor trade that got modified and then re-entered. I'm going to see if I can find it. I'm probably not going to be able to find it live here. So, okay. So this is kind of why, I mean, you'll see me talk about this sometimes in the chat. The floor trades, you have to kind of watch a little bit more because a lot of them tend to get modified and canceled. I don't know why. It's just with the floor trades typically. Sometimes you'll see regular trades get canceled, but typically not. But like these, obviously, I had the repeated hits to come in before that. You can see that floor trade that came in, that IV spiked a lot there. They canceled, modified it, ended up filling it looks like 350, and you're getting a no side here, so that's why that bar is gray versus green. But that cancel obviously messed everything up, and that bid ask is messed up a little bit there. But obviously, good move on those. And so again, back to kind of why I'm like, adjust your stops up. 346 was a call out. They came up and hit 592. Trading at 377 now. So these whales, I can check for your simulation. Give me a second here. So like that's why I'm like, the whale trades are good, but they don't always have the best entries and exits. Like you're losing, we're just gonna make say 6 to 377. I mean, you're gonna lose $250 a contract there just because you're sitting there like, oh, that whale's still in. You should still be securing profits, even if that whale's still in. You never know what that whale's fully doing. But let's look at AMD for simulation here. Get my tab up here. So AMD. So let's take a peek. So first thing I like to do, I kind of like to pull in that highest volume on the day. I'm looking for a skew where it's kind of leaning one side more. I mean, looking right away here, I'm not really seeing much. Let's do it by premium though for you. Yeah, just not seeing much here. So if I don't see anything, okay, well, I lied. We see a longer term AMD put. And then you got a short term call here. So let's take a peek at these. We'll look at that call first. So these are, okay, 21% in the money. Something that deep in the money, I pass on. I kind of look at anything more than maybe like 2% in the money is junk. A lot can kind of go on within the money, a lot hedging, all that stuff. I avoid it, especially something that's 92% multi-leg. Okay, simulation. We'll look at that put. Are you looking short or long? Call. Okay. Well, I probably shouldn't have closed that tab, but let me. So okay, there's nothing that good on the hottest or the highest volume contract. So I'm gonna go to my next step here. God, my internet is just being junky today. Okay, so let's come in here. We'll look at the flow list. So AMD. So okay, I got some bid side calls coming in here, but I want to just see how much is getting hit with that 50,000 filter. Just make sure I'm capturing enough. Let's see. I'm gonna pop this up a little bit, and you're looking longer term, so I'm gonna pop this. I'm gonna take the filter off here. So we'll start, and the premium here, obviously this will change. These are just kind of just big. Come on, populate. Okay, these are just like beginning filters for me. Obviously, depending on the stock, market cap, all that plays a big impact in that. Something like a Ford, obviously 100,000 is gonna be very noticeable versus something like a Tesla where 100,000 you see a lot of that flow come in. But let's look at the long-term AMD. So I'm gonna start no days expiration for it. So let me pop this over. I'm seeing some bid side puts here. Bid side calls. That flows pretty mixed simulation. Just kind of looking through it. $371, and yeah, I mean that's so deep in the money. So here's some calls here that are interesting to me that came in at 10, 180. You're not in the money at all. Let's take a peek at these. So okay, obviously kind of got a lot of open interest on here already, so let's just kind of trying to look. It's hard to know what's what exactly. That's the issue. Let me. So you got the ask side there too. Yeah, it makes it tough. And just kind of looking at that net call premium. The call premium. I don't know if I would kind of chart this out. It could be a good data point. I wouldn't strictly rely on that. But I mean, obviously today's a big day of net call premium here. I mean, your biggest day in, what was that, 30 days? This is interesting because, I mean, you have that big spike back here on the 12th. Obviously, a little move up there. Then you had that big spike here and didn't really get that much more of a move up. But you see that call volume picking up today. So this is your biggest day since, what is that, August 12th there. So, yeah, that's a good sign. And if you're looking long as well, what I'm trying to do is obviously chart it out. I know you're really good at charting, but I kind of just want to take a peek at it as well. Go away. Take a peek at that as well, just for those that are in. Oh, see it flagging right there. Except I want to look at it on the weekly. Here a little longer term. Coming up to that 20-day moving average. Let's kind of get some trend lines in here. So that's where I wouldn't like it. I mean, you could be getting a double bottom here on the weekly, which would look kind of good, and you're got that 20-day EMA as a support there. Let's pop this back to the daily. Yes, sir, I can. Yeah, I'd like to see on the weekly where that double bottom, it does look kind of good there. Simulation on the weekly, I like the weekly a little bit more. When do we have earnings here too? Earnings November 4th. Yeah, you have some time before earnings, and I mean, this looks like a good, and I'm just drawing a very, very rough chart here for you. And I know you probably already have the chart done anyways, but I mean, just kind of looking in here. I mean, this would be your little support spot, and then you got the 50-day there as well on the daily. And just popping this back to the weekly. I mean, this would be your spot. You're looking for a bounce. I just didn't see any good flow to support that, though, simulation. But, yeah, I like the idea. I mean, just based off the chart there as well. I mean, that's a nasty V recovery. Obviously, anything back from March, April, when the tariff stuff was going on, you're going to see that V recovery. But, and even on that week here on the last couple selling weeks, I mean, not a lot of selling volume, and got some good call volume coming in here towards the end of the week here. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. So let's do, for simulation, let's do, I'm going to look at the one that you sent me first. Looks like it's LI. Look at these LIs. Okay. Jeez. Okay, yeah, I'm going to say this is pretty unusual. A lot of this coming in just right now, too. Is it all the different strikes, too? Yeah, I'm going to go with you and say this is pretty unusual. A lot of bid side and more bid side coming in here. Let's take a peek. That's really interesting here. I mean, just look at that raw flow. 6980. Yeah, I mean that IV, just trying to look at that. 69, yeah. The IV is kind of all over the place. But yeah, that one, I want to look at one more thing here for you too. CLI. So that was that the 1017? No, the 1017 is getting a lot more kind of action with your premium there. I mean, yeah, your highest premium ones here just at a glance are all calls. Yeah, that's interesting flow there for sure. Let me look at Oklo for you too quick. Actually, I want to look at one more thing here for LI. Sorry. Let's take a peek at LI here. So, okay. This was obviously a lot of call premium. So pop there, pop there. Your put premium there must have been earnings. I'm going to take a good assumption. How is Gamma looking with this? Yep, I would say your LI thesis looks pretty good there. SO. Because, I mean, you're now a positive gamma here, and you've been increasing 1, 2, 3 sessions, and actually, come down here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sessions in a row of increasing daily gamma. That's interesting there to me. Oh yeah, that's an interesting one there. I wonder how it does seasonality wise. I don't know if there's much on that for seasonality. We'll take a peek if we load here. So September, and obviously it's kind of a little more different of a typical stock, but let's look at the chart for you. I mean, this thing's just been trading in a range, it looks like, to me. I mean, you're just trading between this, and this is just a very quick drawing in here. I mean, it looks like you're trading in between this, and kind of pop this down a little bit more of that 1892 to more so this 3507 area. I mean, kind of towards the bottom of that range now. And that's on your weekly chart there. I mean, to me it looks like you're just going to kind of probably continue to bounce in here, barring any big news. Lee, okay. Thank you. Let me, okay. I'm going to do Oklo for you too. I'll keep that up. Let's see. What's getting hit on Oklo today? 50, 50, 50, 50. The 82 calls, little, so 7-day puts. Okay, some longer term stuff in there. Let's take a peek at the calls for the week. 374, those already kind of moving a little bit. I wouldn't want to swing anything else over the weekend, especially weeklies. But we do have some open interest on them from before, so yeah, that starts to get a little messy for me. Or if I gotta sit and question it, probably pass on it on these. Looks like some ads throughout here. $9% in the money, giving me all the in the money stuff. Let's just take a peek at what we got here. So you're up 3% on the day. Let's take a peek at the, so a lot of net call premium yesterday. Obviously nobody really buying puts, a lot of outflow there. Yeah, big inflow yesterday, obviously making that move up now. That's just insane. Geez, that 1 year return. Crazy. Yeah, you're going to see a lot of that kind of 0-day stuff getting more action here. How are you doing gamma-wise? So the one thing, obviously, with gamma, typically, and it can take a little bit, but you'll see people say that price will typically catch up to gamma at some point. Price is pretty kind of getting extended from that gamma, so if you're looking for gamma to spike here, I'm going to see if I can so like, okay, like you can see here, obviously your price is trailing the big massive gamma spikes, and then you start to rise up here, and then here's your big run up. Then you see kind of gamma starting to fall off in here, and then here's your drop. Once again, you're kind of down here and gamma's rising here, and you get your big spike here. So keep an eye on it, obviously. I mean, you're still seeing kind of bigger spikes in that gamma. I don't know if I'd want to chase it from here. Let's see where we are on the chart. I mean, yeah, you're pretty much at all-time highs. It's just crazy. Let's look at the daily. I wouldn't chase it up here, honestly, to look at that. I'm just kind of getting a couple trend lines in there. It's not even the best chart. I can't really even get a clean trend line on that one. As you come back down here, I mean, you're gonna kind of cut off a lot of those candles unless I come out a little bit more there. Let's zoom in a little bit. I mean, this would be my spot where you're gonna kind of watch in here. Clean this up a little bit. Oops, maybe. Tighten that guy up a little bit. I mean, you're breaking that support here. I mean, this would be my kind of range. I'd be looking 82.80, 84.59. That's going to be your supply zone, resistance zone, whatever you want to call it. Obviously, you're getting really overbought on the RSI as well there, too. But yeah, like this, I'd probably want something, at least a discount if I'm going to chase something like this. Let's find a good spot to enter for you, possibly. And it's up so much where I really want a discounted entry in here, but pop this back out maybe a little bit. Yeah, I'd want an entry. I mean, that 4 hour, I'm just looking here. I mean, pop, pop, pop. Little pop there and then drop there, drop there. That 4 hour, though, if you came back down here, I mean, that's a big drop, though. And this was this after earnings? Here, I'll look in a second. But, I mean, that on that 4 hour, you get you right down up to that uptrend here. I want to see what that big day was. I mean, this thing can obviously move, because when you look at it, I mean, just the last 2 days, you're up 10% on the stock. So a move down from here to about the trend line. I'm just going to kind of, yeah, I mean, it'd have to be a 10% drop to get you to that trend line. It's hard to chase something that's up 10%, but that's just me. But yeah, see, like on the daily here, it doesn't look that good, but once you kind of zoom in here and get in on that 2 hour, that 1 hour, you're going to see that's your supply where reject there, and then you got to reject there. All right, let's see what's hitting the flow feed, because I've heard a lot of dings here. So the fresh, okay, these look interesting, not overlapping earnings. Big spike. So 1% out of the money, to me, obviously you're not going to hedge something 1% out of the money typically. That's a good sign there. Your biggest day of net call premium here. Doesn't see a lot otherwise. Oh, some more coming in there. Let's take a peek at these. 49, okay. That's just me doing a quick scan. Okay, so let's come over here. So, okay, that IV drops now when that flow comes in. So right away that's telling me I'm going to be cautious with it. So 49.17, and then you have another IV drop there a little bit. Not a ton of size there. And then you start to see that IV continuously drop here, even though you're coming at the ask. So now to me, like, this is a mixed bag for the flow. You're only 1% out of the money with 35 days. Let's see what else we got coming in here. So that was fresh. Yeah, so 35 days. I mean, you just don't get a lot of premium on these. So, I mean, it's interesting. Some longer term calls there. Coming back in here on the 29th. 29th there, 1,000. And like this, I mean, this is the issue with the block trades that come in, just the size comes in all at once. you don't get that flow to read around it. I mean, you get a little bit here where that IV increases. I like to see that flow before. I think the flow before it's a little more important too, because you can see if that IV was like 95 and then you see a big drop there and then a small spike, I'd right away probably be like pass. But yeah, that's a tough one. 19, and I mean they're deep in the money as well too. So when in doubt, chart it out. And it looks like somebody may have already been charting on this chart. I'm going to just drag this little... So, I mean, you're coming into a support demand zone here too. Obviously, a break below that's going to start to bring you down to kind of all-time lows. Feel like that. So I mean that's kind of where I'm like I'm gonna look at that flow as well too. If I don't like the flow, maybe I like the chart with the flow. So like this is something that would be in that spotlight flow where the flow is interesting to me, but like it doesn't match up with the IV or the spot. Something with the flow isn't perfect for me. But interesting one there. Let's look at these, the SLNO. So not a little more towards the bid, obviously. So you got net call input premium up 23, multi-leg right away, 83% out of there. Not going to even waste my time with something like that. And then we have the other XPEVs here. So like these are interesting to me. Well, 34% out of the money with 100 days. Let's see, what do we got here? 1922. So 555. So about 1,500. I'd want to see how much of that volume carries over into Monday here, just to kind of confirm that. Let's take a peek at IO1Q for you. Actually, we'll check your IO1Qs in a second here. I want to look at these MSTRs I just hit again. A lot of volume today on these. But should have got in yesterday before that rise. And you start seeing all these hits. Bid side candles kind of concern me. I just want to see how much carries over. And obviously, knowing how short dated they are, you're going to have a week, or the weekends coming up here. You can just kind of take a peek at the theta here on the contracts. So you're losing 14 cents a contract on them every day. That doesn't seem like it's right. Whoops. 3.4, so 4% of the money. That doesn't seem right to me. 342.5. 42.5. So next week's 342.5. So your daily theta on that's 57 cents a contract. So you're gonna lose if MicroStrategy didn't move anymore until Monday. You're gonna lose about 180 or so dollars a contract. So good thing to do is kind of wait till Monday. Yep, nope, simulation. That is honestly the best thing to do with those high theta stocks. Sell the premium over the money. Obviously, you got to be careful sometimes, but let's I just want to look at this for my thing. Why did I not see it say 57 here for the theta? Why is it only saying 41? Table. Yeah, so like Monday is what, the 15th? So I mean, even with a 1% move on Monday, if you're going to be down 9% on the contracts, better to kind of wait till Monday. Don't have to worry about that theta and then kind of hop in. That's something you can always look to do. Okay, let's go look at the IO1Qs for you. Simulation. I don't know if I've had anything come in here. No, let's go take a peek. Here. Okay, obviously some 0 days. These ones here, I'm sure they probably made a move already. A lot of premium here to the upside. I'm going to say your flow's bullish here. I'm just kind of obviously doing a quick look. Just want to see what we're... So 13% in the money. How much are we up today? Up 16% on the day. Gonna probably want to wait for a little pullback. Where are we on the chart? Yeah, I mean, that is a massive pump today. Massive pump today, and that's... I mean, you're coming out of that flag here. I mean, that's elevated volume. That's something you'd... I mean, that's a really explosive move there, coming out of there. It's just, do you want to chase something that's 16% up on the day? I do want to take a peek at different spot here for you. Let's take a peek. Taking a peek. I mean, you got some multi-leg junk going on in here. Yeah, and your IV's so elevated on this right now too. Pit side put. Yeah, a lot of multi-leg stuff. So I mean, that's where you're seeing that premium really spike on that, or the net premium spike here on the big spikes of premium. Sorry, I got a text there. I was trying to read it out of the corner of my eye. Yeah, interesting. That's, yeah, I mean, probably gonna, I mean, I would make a very educated guess. You're probably gonna see a pullback at some point here. I mean, you're very overextended from the moving averages. RSI is oversold. You're up. I mean, just the last, we'll do the last, just this week. I mean, you're up 36%. That's unsustainable. You're going to see a pullback at some point there. Let's look at these that just came in. Yeah, good one, simulation. I always love yours because yours are always, your charts are always there. And I mean, they usually hit with the flow. And I try not to ask you if you're short or long. I try to guess when I see the chart. So out of the money, 81%. You're up 15% on the day. It's pretty much a penny stock. I'm not a fan of trading anything under $10. It's such a slow mover. Unless you're selling premium on something like it. That's a little different versus trying to... I mean, you get a 30... I mean, LASE. Let's take a peek. LASE. I mean, this is a 4-cent move. Oh, wait. Hold on. What okay. LAES. Okay. So I was right at first. LAES. Okay. I mean, you're a 44-cent move on the day. You're up 15%. That's why I don't like trading those. I mean, you get a 3-cent move on something like that. You're down 5-6% on the stock, and it's really hard to trade it. Something like that, you're going to trade premium. I mean, I'd sell premium on something like that more versus, I mean, you just come in here. I mean, 49 days out and very low liquidity, too, on these. Just trying to see if I can find one that has some decent liquidity. So, okay, like, let's say you're actually seriously bullish on this company. You know it's a slower mover. Like, you're long-term bullish, we're going to say. A move down to 2, I mean, that is going to be a, pretty significant move. I'd sell, you can, or, well, I wouldn't sell calls if you're bullish on it, but like these, I would look to do that. And I mean, it's tough with those slower movers too. I mean, those spreads are usually junk. But yeah, I mean, those slower movers, better to sell premium versus buying the actual call or put. Just kind of something personally that I like. See what else do we got here? We got 10 minutes left in the day. What's the market doing? Saw that sell off there kind of a little bit. Did I miss some news or something? I mean, that was a little drop there. CoreWeave. Yeah, and that's funny. I wonder if I have that saved in here because I had some moron tried to come at me on X here about a CoreWeave sell. So these 70 puts. These came in after earnings here. And it's not going to show me that. Maybe, let's see. Sometimes that older flow, it's hard to, doesn't always stay there. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do it. But so, okay, we had these put sells come in after earnings. And when they came in here, I don't have the out of the money on, but at the time, I think they were like 50% out of the money. We had a big gap down on CoreWeave. And somebody tried to come at me and they're like, oh, that's a roller coaster or whatever. Like, you're selling premium long term on something that's 50% out of the money. You must not have the best idea of what theta decay is. I mean, these were at, they sold them at 104 for 1.1 million. Is the stock going to drop another 50%? Probably not. Probably not when it's already down. I think it was down like 15% after earnings. Don't quote me there. I don't know off the top of my head. But I mean, you're selling premium, so theta is your friend on those. Is the stock going to drop another 50%? Again, probably not. So, I mean, and this is why I'm always telling people, when you're selling premium, like if you're selling puts, I look at that as bullish to neutral. That stock could stay the same price the entire time, and that whale can profit because theta is your friend. You want those contracts to pretty much go to zero so you collect that premium. So like these, obviously 104 kind of came up here, and then I mean yesterday trading at 48. So in 35 days, is the stock going to drop 38%? These are 38% out of the money puts right now. You come here and look at the chart quick. I mean, it's probably unlikely. I want to find when earnings were, sorry. So, okay, here was your earnings day back here on the 25th. So earnings, we had a drop here over I don't know if this came in that day after earnings or the day of, so don't 100% quote me, but I mean, you're down 30% already. You're going to see short coverings. You're probably not going to see another 50% drop on something like that. But just, and kind of just charting that out too, if you're looking at that longer term, I mean, you're coming into that support zone. Obviously, you're pretty much below there after that earnings. You're going to probably see a bounce. I mean, could 100% drop another 50%. You never know, but like that, when you're selling the longer term premium, you're probably gonna the selling the premium's a little, I like it more than sometimes buying calls and puts, because I don't want to say there's less risk, because there's actually a little more risk, and I'm not going to get super deep into that in here. I mean, if you're selling calls and those calls are $30 in the money, you are in trouble. But let's see. Okay, let's do the MU puts for next week. Let's take a peek for you. Whoops, I didn't want to do that. Okay, MU search. So calls, okay, bid. Not seeing any strong puts here. Maybe bid side puts there. Man, they're just hammering the calls on that. MU up 4%. Let me come back here. Right here, simulation. I mean, this is your biggest 170 days out. And it's a no side fill. Let's just kind of take a peek at it though for you. 448. Yeah, I mean it's more towards the ask here, so I'm probably gonna lean bullish on that one. It's hard to know though because it was a cross trade too, and you're 11% in the money. But I just want to pull up that flow feed here. Puts for next week. Just not seeing anything that good in this nasty. Looks like they're rolling calls here. Side calls here, 7 days out. Let's look at these for you. You're still seeing a lot of that call premium too. That call volume's even picking up here a little bit into close. So now, like when you're looking to see if something's closing here, yeah, like they look like they're closing the weekly calls here to me. Obviously, that IV's dropping here. Yeah, I just don't see any puts supporting that. And I mean, obviously, Monday, Tuesday might be a little choppier in the market too with FOMC on Wednesday. That's something to keep in mind too. Earnings in 11 days too. Where are we on the chart? I know I see your chart there. Let's take a peek. You could see a little pullback here. I mean, you're coming up to the top here. Pop this out to hour, see if I can get a better little view. Yeah, it's gonna be a tough spot. I mean, that's just a quick little drawing there. I mean, big gap to the gaps to the downside. 1, 2, 3. Let's take a peek at one more thing here for you. Man, I was gonna mow the lawn and it looks like it's gonna rain. Not what I want to do. Yeah, I mean, a couple days of that gamma slowing down. I mean, it takes a while sometimes for that gamma to catch up. I mean, obviously, like look at this here. I mean, well, April, that's not a good example because of the COVID, and this isn't the best example of one because it's just so choppy. For us to have caught up to this stuff back from 2024, I mean, it's taken a while. That's the thing. The gamma can take a time to catch up. But how are we finishing here on the day? Chopping a close here. All right, well, I'm going to probably hop off because somebody's at my feet right now wanting to go outside, and I don't want them to poop inside. So thank you, everybody, for hopping in. I'm going to, I'll have the flow recap up, and if you want to review this, I'll have this up too as well. But have a great weekend, everybody, and yeah, we'll see everybody next week.